This video will look at substitution. We can evaluate, which is finding the value of an algebraic expression if we replace the pronumeral with their known value. So this process is called substitution. Let's look here. Evaluate the following terms if x is equal to 4 and if x is equal to negative 4. So 3x squared. And it asks us to evaluate, so we substitute. In the first case, we substitute, instead of x, we write 4. So this is 3 times by x squared, except x is 4. So instead of x, we put 4. So what I've done is substituted x, I've put in 4. We then go 4 squared is 16. So 3 times 16 is 48. It then wants us to do it with x as being negative 4. So we have 3x squared. Now, instead of my x here, I'm going to put negative 4. So I've substituted negative 4 instead of x. So I've got negative 4, and I've got to square that. 3 times y. Negative 4 squared. That means negative 4 times negative 4. 4 4s are 16, and negative is a positive. So negative 4 squared is 16, so the answer to this one is also 48. The next example, negative x squared. So it wants us to, instead of x, to put 4. So negative 4 squared. So what we've done, is instead of x, we put 4. So it's negative, and 4 squared is 16, so it's negative 16. The next example, it's negative. Now instead of x, we are going to put negative 4 and square that. So what I've done, instead of x, I've put negative 4. So it's negative, and negative 4 squared is 16, so it's negative 16. So this negative comes here, the answer to that bit is the 16. C, the square root of 5 subtract x. So I'll write this out both 2 times. And in the first instance, it's the square root of 5 subtract 4, because instead of x, I am writing 4. And in the second instance, it is the square root of 5 subtract negative 4, because instead of x, I'm substituting in negative 4. So the first one, 5, that's the square root of 5 subtract 4. 5 subtract 4 is 1, and the square root of 1 is 1. In this one, it's the square root of 5 subtract negative 4. So 5 subtract negative 4 is 5 plus 4. That's the square root of 9, which is 3. So in this worked example, we've substituted in the first instance for each example, x is 4. In the second instance for each example, we've substituted in x is negative 4. Let's look at worked example 3. In worked example 3, it tells us that x is 3 and y is negative 2. So what we need to do in example A, 3x plus 2y. But we're not going to write x, we're going to write 3. And instead of x, we're going to write 3. And then it's 2 times y, and instead of y, we're going to write negative 2. So what we have done is substituted in, instead of x, we've written 3, instead of y, we've written negative 2, because this is what it tells us up here. 3 3s are 9. This is 2 2s are 4. That multiplied by that is a subtraction, so the answer to that one is 5. The next worked example, it's 5xy, subtract 3x plus 1. So this is 5. Instead of x, we're going to write 3. Instead of y, we're going to write negative 2. Then we subtract 3 lots of 3, and we add 1. So again, what I've done is instead of x, I've put 3, and then instead of y, I've put negative 2. So we've done our substitution, and then we work it out. 5 times 3 is 15. 15 times 2 is 30. A positive times by a positive is a positive, times by a negative gives us a negative. Then we subtract 9, because 3 3s are 9, and we add 1. If we got negative 30, we subtract 9, it's negative 39, plus 1. Negative 39 plus 1 is negative 38. The last example, 2x squared plus y squared. So we have 2x squared plus y squared. Let's do our substitution. Remember, instead of x we put 3, and instead of y we put negative 2. So with my substitution, instead of x I put 3, and instead of y I put negative 2. Alright, then let's work it out. We've got 2 lots of 9, because 3 squared is 9. Then we need to add negative 2 squared. Negative 2 squared is positive 4, because negative 2 times negative 2 gives us positive 4, so we add 4. 2 lots of 9 are 18, and 18 plus 4 is 22. So those worked examples there show us substitution. So remember, in substitution we can find the value of an expression if we replace the pronumerals with given values. This process is called substitution.